A few years ago, I had this song stuck in my head for an entire summer. Seriously, 3 months. It's so beautiful. I drove the people around me crazy. It drove me crazy. Always singing it, humming it, playing it on guitar. It's an infectious melody. It's gorgeous. This is The Last Resort by the Eagles. It's 1976. It's the last song on the Hotel California album. I'm not sure it's their most popular song, but probably because it's also, I just read the other day, it's the Eagles' longest song. It's 7.5 minutes long, which is not great for being radio friendly, right? I know Hotel California was long, but it wasn't 7.5 minutes. That to say, it is an absolutely beautiful song, and I hope you'll play it with me. Now it's a capo 2, I don't want to forget to mention that, capo 2. It's a piano song, and one of my favorite ways to strum, I call it the piano strum, is think of right hand on the piano, right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand, and it could be brought down to this. I'm going to sit on a D here, capo 2. So it's really chord, bass, chord, bass, chord, bass, chord, bass. So putting, it kind of feels backwards at first, but that contributes to the tension. We did it in another song not long ago by Don Henley, Heart of the Matter. Has that, that urgency to it with the piano, strum bass, it's like rubbing your hair backwards kind of thing. Or this way, yeah, this, okay. That to say, let me play a little bit of it here. I'm going to use that piano strum. There's a fair amount of chords in it. We'll go through them. I'll do the chords in the order that they occur, in the section, so we don't just sit and play and look at the chord shapes. This is, I'll start with the BEATBUDDY here. I'm using the Blues 1 pattern at 64 beats a minute if you have a BEATBUDDY from Singer Sound. Proudly affiliated with them. They're fantastic. I'll give you an idea what I'm up to here. So here's your 3, really D, G, just gorgeous. And now it was D, G, A in there. And now there's going to be a key change toward the middle of the song. And it's a good thing to know that when things start to get repetitive at the length of this song, when you get a lot of verses going, a great idea is to change keys, because it gives it a boost in the middle of the song or 3/4 of the way through typically. It just gives it a big boost. It sounds brand new and fresh again. Now, for those of you, I've been getting a lot of good feedback, and I appreciate you coming back. Subscribing is a big deal, and the thumbs up have meant the world here in YouTube land. I really appreciate that, and a lot of your comments and suggestions. A lot of you are letting me know that you're liking the lead stuff toward the end of the video. We'll do a full play along of this one, as we always do. I'll do a slow version, about half of it, and then I'll do the full version at the very end. And at the very end, I'll throw in some scale stuff. We've been talking a lot about pentatonic scales and trying to play a little bit of lead stuff. This will be different. There'll be a full-blown major scale to talk about. Very, very important. Not everything is pentatonic on guitar, or in music, generally speaking. So stick around the end, and I'll also be invoking the Aeros Looper from Singular Sound. Absolutely fantastic. This is the gold version of it, the gold edition, and I'll show you what I mean by we'll try to get a little bit of the melody going. So I'll do a little loop here before we get into the song. Just give me a sec. 3. Here's your verse. Look, ma, no hands. And here's the scale. So that's the melody, or a version of it, and it's coming from this scale. So let's tear that apart slowly. Even if you're not looking to be a big lead player, playing some individual notes, having that in your repertoire is or under your fingers really helps with other things. Scales. There's a reason every instrumentalist practices scales. Very, very important. So hey, without further ado, again, thanks for coming back. I will send you to patreon.com/guitar@work for these sheets. I'll be referring to these the entire time. There are 2 song sheets, and you've got 1 detail sheet loaded with chords on there, and also the scale I just spoke of. If you're going to stick around, that'll be right at the end. So please do that. But it's a lot easier if you've got this patreon.com/guitar@work. It doesn't have to be a lifelong commitment, I must tell you. I've I've lost track of how many songs are up there. You can go up there. We do a lot of play-alongs together, so join me there for sure, and dig back into the history of it. There's tons of songs up there and tons of videos for you as well. So patreon.com/guitar-at-work will make life a lot easier. It's capo 2. It's 64 beats a minute. Now, the chords get 2 beats each. I want to make sure I mention that. I got a list of things to mention here. The chords get 2 beats each in this song, unless they're bracketed. If they're bracketed, you get punches. I'll go through that in just a second. So jump on a D here. Capo 2, jump on a D with me. Now the strum is this. I'm going to strum the D chord has 2 X's in the chord diagram. The X's refer to the fact that you don't usually hit the low E or the A strings. Your 2 thickest strings, I'll say, are out of bounds on a D, okay? Unless you're doing something special. They're out of bounds. So the first bass note, the first available bass note is the 4th string, the D string, that guy there. So on the strum, we don't hit him, we strum down, and then we go get that D. So that is strum, bass, strum, bass, strum, bass. It's not the end of the world if you happen to hit the bass note in the strum. It's just nice to keep them separate, but you don't want to be surgical worrying about it. It's not a big deal. Strum, bass, strum, bass, strum, bass, strum, bass, like that. So the bass note you choose is directly involved with how many X's are in the chord. When I go to this G, you can go to a different G if you're used to playing G differently. That guy there, there's no X's in a G, so I'm going to pedal, or the bass note's going to be on the big fat string there. So still only going to strum maybe the top 4, just so it doesn't get too dark sounding. On the A chord, fingering of your choice, it doesn't matter. There's 1 X, so the bass note is going to be your 2nd thickest string here. The big fat guy is X'd out, so we're not allowed to use him. I'm going to strum the top 4, and then pedal away on the 2nd thickest string there. We're back to D. Yeah, so the chords are the same through the verse, D, G, A, D, in that order. Joining with me here, jump in with me. So here, 3, 4, D, G, A, back to D. 2nd line, D, G, A, again, just as G, her father came, A, across. Now here we get, see the brackets there? D is and D sus4 are in the same bracket. When we see those brackets, it's always the same rhythm. It's going to be this: D, 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 D. Stop the guitar. I'll slow this down a second. Now add the pinky. That's D sus4. Add the pinky to the 3rd fret of the highest string. Your 2nd finger can stay on. He's not bugging anybody. So that would be this: D. Adding that pinky. So that is, again, on a D, down, 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 up, smack. Okay, the smack does not have to make a noise. You're just trying to stop the strings. There's a bit of punctuation. It sounds this way in real time. You can hear a smack when I'm doing it. It's not wrong, it's just whatever you like. So that, whenever you see brackets in this song, that's the rhythm. And then you may have to stop tape right there and get that under your belt. So it's down, 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 up, smack, down. We do it again, 3 and a 4, going down, 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 up, smack, down. Last time, 3 and a 4 and a down, 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 up, smack, down. There we go. So that happens, the first time it happens is it's the end of the first verse there. And you'll notice they kind of use that to punctuate between verses. So it's not just one big run-on kind of sentence like that. Everything is good. I'm looking here on my trusty iPad. This is now at the end of the 3rd verse. I've written instrumental, meaning the instrumental section. Okay, there's a couple of those. And there's our D to D sus again. I'll do this. I'm in the end of the 3rd verse here, where the lyrics are, somebody laid the mountains low while the town got high. So D is bracketed. And then D sus4. Now here we go, G major 7. Look at your sheet, your detail sheet has it. Here's a G major 7, one way to play it anyway. G major 7, look at that. So middle finger here on the 3rd fret of that low E. 3rd finger is on the 3rd fret of the B. 1st finger is on the 2nd fret of the high E. Speaking from the capo, of course, right? Now you're going to see an X in the chord diagram over top of the A string. So how are you supposed to do that? If you just lean your middle finger down a little bit, it's probably choking out. Good, there we go. It's choking out. I bet you don't even have to think about it. It's probably happening quite naturally there. So you don't want that A string to sound, is what I'm saying. And now it's the same rhythm, G major 7 to G6. What on earth is that? Here's G major 7, down, 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 up, smack, remove your first finger. That's all there is to it. Just like that. So here's G major 7, first finger on. Down, 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 up, smack, off. That first finger. Last time. 3, 4, G major 7, down, 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 G6. There we go. So I'm going to ring finger stays. I'm going to go back to the D. I'm at the end of the third verse there where it says instrumental, I-N-S-T, D. Add the pinky. Now ring finger stays. I go to G major 7. Remove the first finger. Here it is again. In real time, no pausing. Here's your D, 3, 4. D sus, G major 7, G6. Next line is the same. D sus, G major 7, G6. Now I'm going to leave that ring finger there. We need an A7 sus 4. There's the shape. Check your diagram. There's the shape. There are fingerings abound for this. Sometimes you're trying to economize your fingering. There was a finger in common. The ring finger was in common with this chord and the previous chord. So I've chosen to finger it this way. And I'm just going to go back. It's not bracketed, so I'll go back to the strum, bass, strum, bass, strum, bass, strum, bass. Now I'll tuck the, I'm going to go middle finger to an A7. And you're back to a D. And then everything is the same in that next verse, 1, 2, 3, the fourth verse in there. So that's what's going on in the instrumental sections. Now, for the sake of our play-along, if you're struggling with some of those new shapes, remember play-alongs are all about trying to keep up, and if something bad happens, then you can wait and pick it up in the next verse. So don't wait till it's perfect to play along with me at the very end. Even if you have to skip some of the tricky parts while you're working on them, at least you're getting the real time. You almost need that, somebody chasing you kind of thing, and to develop your recovery skills. So that's a really, really big deal. So I'm going to go to now the second page. The instrumental section is just after that first verse on the second page. You'll see I-N-S-T on your left. It's the same figure there. I'm going to go D. To a G major 7, same thing. Now we're in the D. Now we're in the instrumental section proper. Here's your again D. Pinky on. G major 7. Here's your key change, going to an F. There we go. I know, okay, I can hear the groans and I can hear the groans all across the planet. F. Now, you don't learn to play an F chord by avoiding songs that have F chords, right? So get in there and live. If you're getting a buzz here and there, live with it. The capo might make it a little, make it a little easier. And to be completely honest, some people find the capo makes it a bit worse because his frets are getting a little bit smaller in there, so crowding things in. My best advice to you, if your thumb is up like that, then you're pulling your fingers down like that, and that causes a lot of the interference. Thumb like that. So try to get their thumb nice and low, come at the guitar from underneath. And notice my first finger, I'm using the side of my first finger to try to get those top 2 strings barred like that. And you still may get this. And one fine day you wake up and it's perfect. And strangely enough, you work on other new chords will often help the F. Sometimes people are working on the F, it's not coming, they try something else for a while, and they go back and the F works. So there's no telling, there's no splaining it. There we go. So F. Now here's one you probably haven't seen, or maybe you have, but a lot of people haven't. This is B flat major 7. Let's just finger it from nothing, and then we'll talk about a way you might be able to get there quickly. B flat major 7, key change. That's a beauty. I'll go back to the F. There we go. Now, ring and middle are already in the right place. So I'm going to add the pinky to the 3rd fret of that B string, and I'm going to go first finger barred up to and including the A string, and that is your B flat major 7. So it's a minimal amount of movement. Some people would even say all you have to really do is get rid of the pinky, and that's true. That is true, but the only problem with that is that sends a signal to your right hand that this is the bass note. This guy, it's hard to lay off that A string. So I'd encourage you to try to do the movement. Here's an F. Now it's the same rhythm because it's bracketed, but there's no movement. So I go, there is movement, So I should mention that the piano has got us beat. They got 10 fingers and 10 toes, okay? And the piano players, they call it, when a guitar player is playing a piano song, they call it a reduction in their arrogance. They call it a reduction. I take issue with that. But anyway, here's B from F to B flat major 7. That one, you probably have to stop tape and peck away at that. You shouldn't have to crush it. I know it's a bar chord. You're barring that, and a little pull from the left shoulder helps an awful lot. But if your wrist is turning green, that's not cool. So don't fall off your chair. Don't injure your back. Here we go. F is the rhythm. B flat major 7. Okay, there's that. So you may have to stop tape, or for the sake of the play along at the end, you can skip that part until you've worked on it, and it gets better and better over time. Don't wait till it's perfect to play with me. Okay, here's now C sus4. Just take a regular C chord. I'm going to go pinky onto the 3rd fret of that D string. That makes it a C sus4. Now I'm going to leave my middle finger there, and as soon as I put that pinky on, he's ahead of him, and he's the one you're going to hear. There's no reason to take that middle finger off of there because it's going to be going to a C anyway. And it's just now we're back to the non-punchiness. So I'm just go 1 and 2, 3, 4, and off with the pinky. It's just a regular C. There you go, C sus4 to C. You'll use that in quite a few songs. F, now you'll see at the end of that line, the end of the instrumental section on page 2, you're going to see F to B flat major 7 times 8. Yes, they literally go 1, 2, B flat. It's the quiet part. We call that the breakdown. It's dead quiet. There's no drums in there. There's nothing. When the time comes, I'll leave the beat buddy running because it keeps us together like that. But they have a complete breakdown so they can get loud again toward the end. So here's your F to B flat major 8 times. Just try to be really whispery with it. And that's it. That's all we're going to see in the song. Okay, that's all we're going to see. I know that the key change, the F to B flat major 7, is going to throw a few of us off, but that's okay. That's okay. But do what you can. So I'm going to go to the very beginning here, and I'll go back to. I'll remind you of the D. And I'm going to play the first 3 verses at a reduced tempo. Again, it's 64 beats a minute. I'm going to go down to 54 beats a minute here on the fabulous Beat Buddy. That's just a matter of hitting the tempo knob and dragging it down to 54. And if I get that going, and I'll do the intro as well. There's 4. This is our slow play along. There are 4 bars of a D. On that. So let's just get this guy going. 3, 4. There's your D. 2, 3, 4. You feeling that? 1, 2. So here's an intro. 3. Sit on D with me. Here we go. 2, 2. 3rd. 4th. Here's your verse. Here we go. D. G. Providence. A. The one in deep Rhode D again. Where the old world. G. Shadows hang. A. Heavy in. D. And the air. D again, she packed. G, hopes and dreams. A, D, like a refuge. D again, just as. G, her father. A, across, punches. C, pinky on. 2nd verse. D, she heard. G, about a place. A, people. D, were smiling. D again. Spoke about. G, the red man's way. A, how they D, love the land. D again, they came. G, from everywhere. A, D, the great divide. D, down in. G, crowded bars. A, down in high punches. 3rd verse. D, down in. G, the crowded bars. A, out for. D, a good time. D, can't wait. G, to tell you all. A, what it's like. D, up there. D, they called it. G, paradise. A, I don't even know why. D again, somebody laid. G, the mountains low. A, while the town punches. D, instrumental. G major 7. Next line, D, G major 7, A7 sus, regular strum, A7, and we're back to a D, and that would be the next verse coming in right at that point. So hey, you should be able to do that before you launch into the full speed play along. We're going to go bring it back up here to 64. That's the proper speed for it. So we took 10 points off, which is not a huge amount, but any slower than that, things start to get a bit soupy at this particular speed. Hey, let's do our full speed play along. Remember, play-alongs are all about recovery skills. Something bad happens, try to start the next section, whatever it is, wait for me. I'll try to show sections as best I can. There's a 4-bar intro. We're at 64 beats a minute here on the fabulous Beat Buddy. I'll start it up. Do what you can. And I should say, grab those sheets, patreon.com/guitar at work makes life a whole lot easier. And here's a 4-bar intro sitting on D. 1, 2, 3, 4, D. 2. 3, 4, first verse, D. She came, G, from Providence, A, the one in D, Rhode Island, D again, where G was shadows hang, A, D, heavy in the air, D again, G, packed of hopes and dreams, A, like a D, like a refugee, D again, just as G, her father came, A, across D, punches. Second verse, she heard G about a place, A, D, we're smiling, D again, G, the red man's way, A, D, middle of the land, D again, they came G from everywhere, A, to the D great divide, D again, seeking G a place to stand, A, punches D still high. Verse 3, D, down in G, the crowded bars, A, out for D, a good time. D, can't wait G to tell you all, A, what it's like D up there. D again, they called it G, paradise, A, I don't D know why, D again, someone laid G, the mountains low, A, punches instrumental, D high, G major 7, go, next line coming, second next line, D sus, G major 7, A7 sus, here we go, A7, and D for 2. Next verse, here we go, D. Then the Chile winds, move down, A, across D, the desert, D, through the canyons of the coast, A, D to the Malibu, D again, where the pretty G people play, A, hungry for power, D, to light G, then neon way, A, giving out punches, to do, I need to bound, D. Next verse, second page, G, A, nobody caught him. D, second line, put up a bunch, G of ugly boxes, A, Jesus, D, people bottom. D, they called it G, paradise, A, the place to be, D again, G, they watch the haze of sun, A, sinking in the sea, punches, G major 7, instrumental section, next line here, D, the instrumental section proper, G major 7, now key change, F, here we go, F, B flat, major 7, and F, B flat, major 7, C7, or C sus 4, nice and quiet here now, F to B flat 8 times, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Coming up here, 6, 7. Last one, 8. Next verse, you can leave it all behind. F, you can leave it at B flat, C, sail to F, Laguna. F again, just like the missionaries. C, so many years ago. It's high to sing this one. They even brought B flat, sign, C, Jesus is coming. F again, right, the white man's burden down. C, but the white man's reign. F. The grand design. C. What is yours? F. What is mine? F again. No more new frontier. C. We have got after made it here. F again. We satisfy B flat our endless needs. C. We justify F our bloody deeds. F again. In the name B flat of destiny. In the name F of God. Punches. Last verse. F. And you can see them there. C. On Sunday morning. F again. B flat up and sing about C. What it's like up there. F again. B flat. Out in paradise. C. F. I don't know why. F again. Go ahead. Paradise. C, punches coming, kiss it goodbye. F. B flat. Repeat that. F. There we go. To a B flat, major 7. Repeat all the way home. F, F. I'll do one more after this. Repeats all the way out. There's your F, last one. There we go. Okay, hey, good. Yeah, long. Now that then part would repeat, they're fading out in that, right? So I hope you did well with that. That's our full speed run through, and you may have had issues, you know, with new chords, things like that. That's totally, completely forgivable. Just try to keep going. Go back, redo it, you'll get further, etc., etc. And really, you just get used to playing along and making decisions on the fly and not having to start at the beginning every time something bad happens. It makes you aware of how much time has gone by as you wrestle to get things back in order. Hey, so that is really great. Thanks. I really appreciate it. Grab those sheets again, patreon.com/guitar at work. Now, for those of you that want to stick around for this scale thing, let's attack that right now. I'm looking at the detail sheet. The song, it looks like it starts out, okay, key of D, because it's a D chord. It's key of D, but capo 2, okay? That puts us in the key of E. It's okay if you don't know that just now. Just want to let you know, that puts us in the key of E if we're talking to piano players and bass players, people with no concept of the capo. Amongst guitar players, we typically say we're in the key of D, because we're using D shapes kind of thing. Now for lead guitar, this is the E major scale. The E major scale, because it's capo 2, D chord, is an E, period. So the E major scale, I'm going to start you up on that guy. You're seeing 12. The numbers are referring to frets, of course. There's 12 on the low E. It's your second finger. The numbers that are circled underneath, those are your left-hand finger numbers. So here's how it sounds. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. It's 2 octaves, backwards. That's it. So here, let's go dead slow at 12. With your middle, pinky's going to 14. Now, if your pinky won't do that, if your thumb's up high, you're crippling your pinky. Get that thumb nice and low. Your pinky should operate. I know it's getting small up there. 12, 14. On the next string, you've got 11, 12, 14. I'm taking them off as I go. 11, 13, 14. It's on your sheet. 11. On the G string, 13. Pinky on 14. Middle's going to 12 on the B. Pinky to 14 on the B. And 11 on the high E. And 12 on the high E. Okay, let's do that again, ascending. I know that was quick, but stop tape there. It's not easy to learn that with somebody just whipping through it on a video. So you may well stop, look at your paper, and you can nail her down. 12, 14, 11, 12, 14, 11, 13, 14, 11, 13, 14, 12, 14, 11, and 12. Now just literally read it backwards. You get 12, 11, 14, 12, 14, 13, 11, 14, 13, 11, 14, 12, 11, 14, 12. Now that's a movable, the great thing about the guitar, one of the great things is that's a movable shape. It's an E scale because I'm starting it on the E. So starting on the double dot on your guitar. Most of you will have a double dot there. If you're wondering where 12 is typically got 2 dots on it to give you some idea where it is. But that's an E scale. If I dragged it down 2 frets and played the same fingering, it's now a D scale. So the great thing about a guitar, once you learn a scale in one position, you can typically drag it around and you're getting different keys for free, whereas a piano player or a horn player has to learn that particular key, a different fingering for each key. So that's one advantage to the guitar. And okay, so that is, you probably want to just turn off tape, stop tape, and learn that. Try to memorize it, get your fingering down, make that part of your daily calisthenic, I'll say. It's so great for you to have, it gets your individual fingers moving. Chord shapes don't do a lot for individual fingers, but having a scale really opens things up. Now, I've written down 2 phrases from the melody. There's plenty of them, but 2 phrases and lots of variation. I'm going to go to 12. So we are drawing this melody from the scale we just played. You know, I'm just going to go this way: 12, 12 on the B, then 11 on the high E, and 12 on the high E, and then 13 on the G, 14. Okay, that's the first bar of the first phrase. Here it is again. Okay, and now the second bar of the first phrase, we're going to 14 on the B. Okay, so the entire first phrase is this guy. How's that? There we go. That's your first phrase. Stop tape, try to absorb it. It's really great to memorize that. There's not a lot to memorizing that. That means you can look at your right hand. When I'm playing single note stuff, I like to rest my right hand on the pins here, on the pins, that little heel of your hand, and that means the pick stroke is emanating from the wrist and not just out in space. I would miss a lot more strings if I was just out in space like that. This gives me some idea where I am. It doesn't matter if my chair is higher or lower today, or if I'm standing up. That rest is always something I can count on. Here is again the phrase number 1. And phrase number 2, I'm going to go 13, and you'll see the numbers underneath. I'm using my third finger circled. And there's 3 of those in a row. 12, 12, 14. Okay, and last phrase. So phrase number 2, again. I missed a note there. Good. So when you're playing a melody without the support of the chords, it's kind of disembodied. So let's invoke the Aeros. This is the Gold Edition looper. I love this from Singular Sound. The buttons are silent on the Gold Edition. It's fantastic. I'm always around mics and cameras, and so there's no squeaking or button clanging spring noise. I don't know how on earth they did that, but it's now perfectly silent. I'll set up, it's as easy as this. Press the Loop Studio button. Now the BeatBuddy is plugged into this guy via MIDI. You just pop a plug in there and they speak to each other. So when I start the BeatBuddy, it's going to count 4 and it's going to start recording on the Aeros Looper. I'll loop a D, G, A, D, just like a verse is, and we can practice that melody together. There we go. So it's going 1, 2, 3. Here comes the loop, and I go. I'll stop it here. I love that big screen on the looper. I have to fasten it to my pedal board. It's brand new. I just got it. I love that big screen. You can see exactly where the loop starts and stops. A lot of people have trouble looping, kind of lose track of where things are, but you can see perfectly it's in there. Love it. And now, I'll play the melody. Next time around, I'll play the melody, the first phrase, then I'll take a break and I'll play the second phrase. Here comes 3, 4, and 1. Again. First one again. Second phrase. Good, so that, play along, play along. It comes again. 4 and a 1. Yeah, I love doing that. It's a nice way to play the guitar. If you play a lot of guitar on your own, just by yourself, you know, strumming, and you don't sing, for instance, you're missing a large part of the musical experience, which is melody. See, the guitar, if you're just playing harmony, chords, that would be harmony, and you have no vocal instrument, or no horn, or no flute, and you're not singing, you really just have harmony. So the melody, it's nice to throw that in once in a while. It's a ton of fun, actually. Hey, so that's our song. Let me know how you're doing. A thumbs up mean the world. I seriously appreciate it. Again, head to patreon.com/guitarwork. That was the Aeros Looper, the gold edition, and the BEATBUDDY drum machine from Singer Son. I love it. And all the links are in the description. The promo code is GAW10. If you use that, you get 10% off, and it helps to support this channel. I hope you'll grab one or both of these items. They're absolutely fantastic. The BEATBUDDY is a whole lot more fun than a drummer, right? As you can probably tell. And it's really a great pedal. And I get a lot of good feedback. Feel free to ask me questions. And hey, have fun with it. And we'll see you again soon, guys. Thanks for coming back. Cheers. 2, 3, and down.